Hey, what's up you moneymakers and HCMC army? Welcome back to the channel. Many of you reached out to me and it is a due for me to share an update for HCMC, Healthier Choices Management Corp. We're getting pretty close to June 29, 2023 because the company did not believe in the past that the requirements can be achieved for this newly corp company that they want to get uplisted on either NYSE or NASDAQ. So I'll be talking about what's the status on the spin-off. We'll talking about whether there is juicy updates coming out of the box before the end of this week. We'll be also talking about what is going on with the lawsuit, what is the latest. We'll look into their Twitter account as well, what's up with their SEC filings that we have seen, the latest one on June 12th, 2023. After that, we do not really see that. So we'll be talking about all this juicy, interesting, and very informative updates in this video. So watch the full video, click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, and motivate me. Write down in the comment section below. Remember, life keeps me busy with a lot of stuff. So if I get 150 likes on this video, I'll keep doing HCMC videos. Any other tickers you want me to review, write down in the comment section below and I'll do my due diligence. I'll share those information or those details with you. And we have been talking a ton about Mullen, and lately it is going down south, so there is an update due for Mullen as well. So the next video is coming up on Mullen, but without a further ado, just subscribe to the channel, click on the like button, and let's talk about HCMC. What is going on? Healthier Choices Management Corporation announced the postponement of the record date for the spin-off on the Healthier Choices Wellness Corp. Now, if you're not pretty sure, let me share this information with you first so you can understand. HCMC, basically they're doing a spin-off, the newly formed new company called HCWC, Healthier Choices Wellness Corp, and they are trying to get uplisted either on NASDAQ or NYSE. So what happened in the past, the company announced that the record date for this one, the original record date was May 1st, 2023. What do you need to do if you own HCMC stocks? You do not really need to do anything, but the company advised all of us that you need to be the owner of the shares on a record date. So if you own anything, if you did not sell, do not worry, or you did not have to worry at that price or on that date. Now, what the company was saying is to ensure that you are the deemed owner of HCMC common stock on that date, you should own or purchase HCMC before May 1st, 2023. Therefore, you should own your stock no later than April 26th, 2023. But all this said and done, it did not really happen. Why? Because HCMC Corporation announced the postponement of the record date for the spin-off of their Healthier Choices Wellness Corp. Now, they were running into some delays, and as you already know, with all the paperwork, especially when you're a small company, you figure things out at the last moment. Similarly, that was the case for HCMC. Now, let's dig slightly deeper into this article before we go ahead. They announced that the record date for the stock dividend for the spin-off for Healthier Choices Wellness Corp was previously set for May 1st, 2023. It had been cancelled. Now, they announced this on May 26th. So many people they got caught off guard. The company's board of directors previously declared the pro rata dividend. Now, this is the pretty good information because one of the things is many HCMC shareholders were waiting for this dividend. Now, HCWC was going to get into your brokerage account in the form of dividend. Will the dividend share be subject to restriction on that date? So on and so forth. What we're talking about is this: how many dividend shares of HCWC common stock will I be receiving? HCMC announced that each shareholder of HCMC will be directly get the percentage of the ownership in HCMC common stock on the record date, subject to certain minimum ownership for HCWC shares. Fractional shares will not be issued and fractional shares will not be rounded up. The calculation for the dividend will be based upon the number of qualifying shares of HCMC dividend. Again, these are the common stocks. Initially issued shares of HCWC. What they were thinking at that time, the ratio would be approximately 71,000 shares of HCMC. The shareholder will get one share of HCWC. So now you know how much you'll be getting. So if you have 71,000 shares, you'll be getting one stock of HCWC. That was the original understanding, original calculation. If you have 710,000 stocks of HCMC common stock, you should be getting 10 shares of HCWC. Now, the original price point, in my opinion, and don't quote me, I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are only for the educational entertainment purposes. So do your own due diligence. But my understanding, my initial research suggested that HCWC may get uplisted for $10. However, all of that did not really happen, and the company continued to undertake all necessary actions to make sure that this actions to effect the distribution. The company will update the shareholders because they have canceled already. They canceled this on May 26th, and there is no new record date. And I'll tell you in a second why June 29th is going to be a pretty good catalyst, and we may hear before June 29th. So maybe later this week, earlier than June 26th, or we may hear early next week or before the end of next week. I'll keep you posted. The company required to obtain certain regulatory and other approvals, such as SEC approval for the registration for the spin-off shares and stock exchange listing approval as well before the distribution can occur. Now, they cannot really issue HCWC shares if there is no spin-off and it is not going to get uplisted either on NYSE or NASDAQ, right? At present, the company does not believe that the requirements can be achieved, and this is on May 26th, so end of last month. We are almost at the end of June. Now remember, June is also, so January, February, March, end of Q1, April, May, June end is also the end of Q2. So it also warrants for us to look into what's going on with their profitability and their balance sheet. And we'll do a deep dive into that as well real quick, just within 30 to 60 seconds. But this requirements, especially for HCWC, could not be accomplished before that time period. Company did not believe that the requirements can be achieved prior to June 29, 2023, which is the distribution deadline. The date of HCMC would require to complete the distribution pursuant to Delaware law of the record date to remain effective. Company CEO Jeff Holman said that we're committed to completing our announced spin-off of HCWC to the company's shareholders. The delay has been driven by the approval matters outside of our control, so HCMC cannot really directly control this. Despite all of this, these challenges, I remain optimistic, says Jeff Holman, that these matters will be timely dealt with and it will be resulting in the stock dividend of HCWC that will achieve the desired outcome for the company and its shareholders. Now, so we need to wait for this June 29th timeline that the company gave us. It could happen again. There is no date set in a stone, but I'm expecting or I'm hoping that we'll hear something from HCMC very shortly. Now, if you think about HCMC's page, we do not really have any information. They stopped posting anything and everything after April 24th on their website. Hopefully, they'll start reposting all this again. However, if you take a look at their stock, the volume is pretty low because people are keeping an eye out for HCWC. You see that 123 million, that was the case on June 26, which is today. And we had 69 million last trading session, which is on Friday, June 23rd. And the stock did not really go to zero, and it was traded between 1 and 1, open at 1, highest 1, lowest 1, closed at 1. Today it went to 0 and then it got back to 1. Now, remember that we do not really have any update on the Twitter handle either. People are looking pretty closely into what's going to happen with the lawsuit. Now, you already know that the district court, and if you did not know, here is the information. District court paused or stayed the lawsuit until the appeal over the patent office ruling is done. Now, what that means is the stay means after that there is another action takes place. In this particular situation, they're going to wait for the patent ruling. Now, what the court is saying that they want to verify that there is a legit patent. If you remember, there is a PTAB application pending, and Philip Morris is trying to convince the authorities that there is no patent that HCMC is talking about. In other words, what HCMC has filed this patent for, it's not actually patentable, which means they just don't have a patent. Now, federal court is saying if there is no patent, they don't want to conduct the lawsuit and do the trials and waste everyone's time if there is no legit patent. So that's where the things are pending. According to the case that is stayed pending in the Federal Circuit's resolution case number, as you already know, 1529, if the court without jurisdiction impose the stay shall take effect immediately upon the court's regaining jurisdiction for the Federal Circuit Court issues its mandate. But all things said and done, what we need to wait on is what's going to happen with the patent. What that means is it can take up to 9 to 12 months. So it is not going to be an overnight situation or within a week or a month that we are going to hear anything in terms of the patent. It's going to take months and months, potentially 12 months. So patience is the virtue. Patience is a quality. Now, if you're pro and if you're rooting for HCMC, time is only the way that you need to watch out for. Now, right now, we also want to see what's going to happen with HCWC. Now, what the company is going to do, by the way, I also wanted to keep you posted on this, because this information is public. Again, you can see that on Reddit as well. Based on their own page, they are selling off their stock, and this is creating some of the concerns. Now, many times what happens is the executives are getting some of their compensation based on RSU, either their restricted stock unit or the regular stock unit or the stock options. Now, on 6/2, Santi sells $2.4 million worth of stock. The 5/30th, Holman, the CEO, Jeff Holman, sells the stock worth of $300,000. Now, I think this all also means that that's their compensation, part of their salaries, part of their package. They sold $3.6 million on 26th of May. Before that, Santi sold on 19th of May about $7.67 million. Now, do your own due diligence. I really don't want you to just believe a Reddit post or anything like that. You can go to SEC website and you can figure things out. So take a look. Report of proposed sale of securities. Report of proposed sale of securities. All you do is you can click on this and you can find out all this information right here, and then you can convert the value, right? So this aggregated market value, $463,266, right? These are the incentive awards. So that's all I was trying to say, that many times securities are given to their employees, executives, just as part of the package, as part of the compensation. And they may decide to sell it because their lifestyle is dependent on that. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Let's go back and talk a little bit more about what's going on in terms of their financials. So this is the report that they have shared on their SEC website. I covered in one of my previous video, but this is probably the time that we look into it. This was released on May 5th, 2023 as well. And why I'm sharing this is so we can understand what HCMC is doing as a company. That's number one. Number two, how much cash that they have on hand. And number three, how their business is doing. Now, if HCMC or HCWC, put whatever name that you want to put, but in general, if they can control their EBITDA, which means their overheads and the way that they're spending to fulfill all these sales, they can just turn this into a profitable business. Now, yes, inflation is a thing, but if they can control their operational expenses, the company can be massively profitable. The cash on hand right now at the moment, HCMC has, not right now, but at the end of March 31st, so end of Q1, $19.7 million. What they had at the end of 2022, December 31st, $22.9 million. So all in all, they're spending a little bit over $3 million. Account receivable, $100,000. Inventories that they have is about $172,000, as you can, inventory available right here. This is the inventory available, $3.9 million, very close to $4 million. So in my personal opinion, if you think how much company has cash and cash equivalent, I would just add it up. 19.7 plus 4 million, give or take, they have $25 million worth of cash and cash equivalent. Why I'm saying that is, of course, they want to keep the inventory running. So that money is never going to be added into their current cash account. But this is still considered cash because when they are selling that inventory, they are going to get 3.967 million, so close to $4 million in cash. They're keeping pretty similar inventory. Take a look, 3.8 million at the end of Q4 2022. Current asset restricted cash that they have is 1.7 million. Other current assets 944 million. All in all, they have 27.2 million current asset, which is cash and cash equivalent, other investments, other current asset, restricted cash, so on and so forth, which is $3 million less than what they had at the end of Q4 2022. At the end of Q4, 30.3 million. Right now, 27.7 million. So this is what you want to consider all in all. I also want to share with you real quick. The net loss in 2023 March ending 31st was 1.9 million compared to 1.3 million that they had at the same time period end of Q1 in 2022. What company is doing is, take a look right here. They are depreciation and amortization $373,000 compared, so that doubled up from 193, more than double, right? Or close to double. Now here, this part is amortization of right of use asset, $695,000 compared to $177,000 that they had last year. Now, one more thing you want to consider is this, lease liabilities, because now they have expanded into multiple stores and multiple facilities, and they are having lease liability of $669,000, almost $670,000 compared to $160,000 that they had at the end of in Q1 2022. Also, accountable, payable, so on and so forth. Inventories, they're spending enough money as well. So I'm not going to get in more detail, but all in all, they have a net loss of $1.9 million compared to $1.3 million, while their sale went up. So take a look at the end of let me really quickly go back if I can show you the sales. So their vapor sales, there's pretty much nothing because they're not selling a ton. And I'll make sure that I share more data with you, but you already know that the 10Q is showing a ton of sell right here, current liabilities. And you know what? Here's the sales. So here's the grocery sale, $13.5 million compared to $4.7 million that they had. So their sale jumped up more than 3x. So 4.7 million, let's say 4.7, let's say $5 million. Right now they are doing close to $14 million. So they're very close to 3x of their total sale that they had in 2022 in Q1. So all in all, what I'm saying is companies doing pretty great in terms of their selling. They're not selling vapor, as you already know. They're close to $249,000 in Q1 2022 vapor sales, which is almost zero at the moment. But their grocery sales went up pretty significantly compared to 4.7 mil. Right now they have 13.5 million, and all they need to do is making sure that they are selling more and more and more, and they're reducing their operational overheads. I hope you like this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll share more details as soon as I can get it. So thanks for watching. Once again, click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.